We're at the start. Turkey Day. What is this ride called?
How did they know?
Turkey Day ride.
Turkey Day ride.
The official Phoenix Turkey Day.
It's dark and it's cold, but it's not as cold as I thought. I'm overdressed.
Like 10 people.
For sure overdressed.
It was small.
So now we're gonna roll up the top of South Mountain, which is somewhere over there. All right, we're at the base of South Mountain, rolling. We're in the middle of probably 200 people, so I'm not gonna record long. There's already attacks going. I'm chilling.
Where's your rock, Ricky?
I got too small of a rock, I'm being told.
Where's your rock?
Let's get to the top. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This one was supposed to be a relaxed day. As you saw, it's a pretty big ride. It happens annually. Did I just tell you guys that Thanksgiving happens annually? Well, there's a ride that happens alongside Thanksgiving, and you might not have known that, in Phoenix, and it happens right in central Phoenix. So you get all the different groups from the valley, west, east, the south, and like they all converge. All the group rides converge, and then we all ride nice and super easy down through central Phoenix, right through downtown Phoenix, and then our kind of steepest paved mountain within the Phoenix area is right here. You're watching it. We're on it. This is South Mountain. I don't think it's called anything else, just South Mountain, and it's a cool little training peak. I think it's got like 2,300 feet. 1,800 feet, something like that, right at 2,000, I think. Well, maybe less actually, excuse me. Because I think if you do two, you get 3,000. I don't know. You can go look it up. Sorry, I don't have that info, but it's a climb. It's like a real climb in Phoenix, which doesn't happen often because we don't really have a mountain range that's close to Phoenix. We have little hills and things, but nothing really mountainous, So this is a mountain. It's like, as you see here, 5%, 6%, all the way up. Levels out a few times, so it brings the average down because there's a few saddles. But when you're climbing at like, 6, 7%, which is a pretty good climb. You're doing it pretty slow, so you can really get a good 20-minute effort in. Like if you wanted to test your 20-minute power, this is a pretty good place to do it. It does have, that saddle though kind of kills that saddle. You'll see, it's a pretty high-speed saddle that you'd have to pedal super hard and fast through to get a good 20-minute effort. But yeah, I ended up actually just accidentally. I wasn't really trying. I was trying to just this ride. I wanted to just chill and work on bass. I'm trying to work on as much bass as I can without getting out of saddle, without hitting high wattage, or without spiking the adrenaline or shocking the central nervous system, nothing like that. I'm just trying to build bass. So I'm staying seated as much as I can, which that goes out the window here because as you see these two guys in front of me, and more importantly, the guy on the front here, Eric. And Eric is Cat 1, probably could have gone pro, or maybe he did for a while, I don't know. But super strong. His tempo is keeping me like on the rivet. So I end up just going for it. I'm like, well, I turned into just hang on to Eric. You see here we're passing some guys that left a little early. So yeah, I end up getting in and out of saddle, and I guess since we have about 15 more minutes to chat about climbing, I did a little video that I can link at the end of this video for comparison's sake. But it was on like climbing tips and how you can do better as a new person. If you're if you're like, man, every time I get to a climb, I get shelled, yet my fitness, like I know I'm as fit as the guys that are dropping me. I must be doing something wrong. And yeah, there are techniques to being good at climbing that can help you for sure. And definitely two guys with the same fitness can go up a mountain like this at two vastly different times, you know, like 30 seconds, you know, gap or a minute gap. Obviously, let me just state, it comes down to power to weight. That's a pretty straightforward thing, but you know, at the same time, someone who's a little more knowledgeable in the approach can have a little better go of it. So if I wanted to give advice here, what you got on the screen is you have two guys, and Phil's still here in second wheel. He's going to take a little pull, and then he lets go. But you have two guys in front of me that are bigger individuals than I am. Eric is 185 pounds, 190 pounds, 6'1" or 2". Big dude, rides a 58. He's on one of those new S-Works Venge. And Phil's a little taller than Eric. I would say probably the same weight. Just a little, I don't want to say thinner because Eric's going to get mad at me. He's just a little skinnier, little less muscle mass than Eric. But both of them are big dudes. And, you know, their power is super high. And I guess where I was going with that is if you're a big guy, you can still climb really well, especially a short climb like this. And yes, 20 minutes is a short climb in the grand scheme of things. You know, if you're thinking like big climbs in Europe where you're climbing for 45 an hour, or like Mount Lemmon in Tucson, I can refer to because I've done it. You know, it took me 2 hours to get to the top of that mountain. So there, you know, the extra 30 pounds means a lot. You know, I weigh 160, I probably weigh 165 right now. I got a scale on the way. I haven't weighed myself in a while. I'm taking my little poll here, guys. I want it noted, and I just try to keep the momentum up. And I would like it noted that taking a pull at 20 miles an hour is more beneficial to the people behind you than taking a pull at 10. So I just try to keep the momentum, the speed up here, and shave off as much of the climb as I can with that speed, and kind of shoot us into the steeper part that's coming up here. That was it. And then I'm on the rivet here. I remember like, I tried to settle into like 350 watts, and then Jack comes around. He's like, no, I don't want to do 350. I want to do 450. I'm like, oh man, this was supposed to be just a relaxed Turkey Day ride. So anyway, where was I going? Oh, big guys. So big guys, yeah, you can be a good climber if you have short climbs here. Absolutely you can. It's power, you know, and don't be afraid to just use the leg muscles. You know, there's two tanks, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but if you're brand new, which is who I like speaking to because that was where I was, and no one had told me this, so you know, I had no idea. There are two tanks in cycling, and I'm going to call them probably the wrong thing. Someone out there probably has the right verbiage, and if you do, let me know in the comments below. There's your cardiovascular system, right? Breathing, heart and lungs, those things. You know, keeping a high heart rate, breathing really hard, and spinning your legs at a faster rate. It's using more of your cardiovascular system. And then I don't know how to word it, but basically there's just muscling it, which is using a little lower cadence, squeezing a little harder with your glutes, your quads, you know, standing more at a lower cadence, trying to keep the heart rate a little lower. If I was giving any new advice, it would be you need to experiment with what works best for you. Find where you're more comfortable. I'll use Cassie as an example. She's still riding the trainer here at home. She's 105 pounds, 110 pounds, and she immediately wants to spin the legs and ramp the heart rate up and just keep the heart rate high, and she does fine with that. I'm trying to get her to bring the heart rate down, use more legs, and it's harder for her, and she's having to adapt to that a little bit because I want to build both those tanks. But you know, if you're listening at home, kind of take that same approach. Like, are you going into these climbs and then just like spinning like crazy, running out of breath, and then you're like, after the climb's done or after you regroup with your buddies, your legs aren't like super pumped. Like your legs should have a pump like you were in the gym almost. Like they should feel like you've used the muscle to the point of exhaustion. If you're not feeling that, then you're using way too much cardiovascular system, and vice versa. If your legs are just smoked and you can still talk to your friends and you're getting dropped, right? You shouldn't be able to have a conversation with your friends as you're getting dropped. You just shouldn't. That means you need to, shift and spin it up and start using the heart and lungs. So it's a balance of those two systems. You got to find the balance. And what I do, and what I think most people do, unlike Eric here, and maybe this happens as you get more advanced into cycling, Eric is like pure tempo. Like you see him, he's like almost, he doesn't stand here till the end. He just keeps like a pretty high cadence, pretty consistent cadence. Oh, he stood up right there, of course, when I said he, and doesn't fluctuate. But I fluctuate in and out of saddle. When I come out of saddle, I'm shifting maybe 2, even 3 harder gears. So I go 1, 2, 3 in the rear, down 3, right? So it's harder, and then I stand up and I use more muscle and I let my cardiovascular system gather itself. And then when I get back in the saddle, I shift 3 easier. It's where Di2 is super nice. And I spin more. And I kind of alternate those a little bit to try to balance out the systems. And I think you guys, if you were out working on it, should try both and kind of see what works for you. Obviously, if the gradient's too high, if it's too steep of a climb, then you have no choice but to just use both systems and like just get it over with. So that's some advice there. If it's a steep part of a climb and you're a bigger dude and it's a short steep thing, I mean, just instead of trying to sit down and just spin your legs, just muscle that thing, power it, get it over with. I mean, it's easier to get the climb done on a short, then we're talking short and steep. It's easier just to get it over with and catch your breath than it is to sit on that climb even like 2 or 3 seconds longer trying to disperse the power. And you gotta judge that based on the climb itself. So yeah, I hope some of that helps. It's kind of just my thoughts on climbing. And like I said, I'll link the video that I made kind of talking about the same stuff, but earlier in my riding, and you can kind of see what's changed in my mindset. So those there's 2 dudes there. One took a pull and then he lets go, and then his buddy lets go with him. They were kind of on the ropes and I coaxed him into taking a pull. And we're coming to the end here of the climb. I'm gonna, Eric just pulls me to the finish here. And you see that big lump in his pocket to the right side of the screen? That's his rock, pretty big rock. And I had a pretty small rock. And I got some crap for it. So the whole, anyway, you'll see. Also, this is new, it's coming up here, super new. This will be the first time that I've ever been on my YouTube channel riding my bicycle. That's right, I'm making my YouTube debut riding a bicycle for you guys here. It's gonna come up in the descent. So my buddy Chad has a GoPro now, and he got on my wheel about halfway through the descent, and I'm gonna show you guys that as we rock down the last half of the South Mountain descent. So yeah, stay tuned. Making my debut. Cycling Virgin is gonna be on the Cycling Virgin channel as we head down the mountain.
Made it to the top. I pulled Eric all the way up.
Have you? Yeah.
All the way. All the way to the top.
And then he pimped me right across.
My huge rock's laying right there. It's this big guy right there.
No, it's behind you, right?
So the deal is you carry a rock to the top and you contribute to South Mountain erosion. So anyway, we all did that. And people are having hot cocoa and donuts. And we're debating where we're gonna go. We're gonna ride to a coffee shop for sure. Always a fun little ride. I mean, there's just tons of people. Look at that. at Lux, downtown Phoenix, having a tiny coffee. Enjoying a pastry. That's it, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching as always. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And look for a crit video coming up soon as we move closer to crit season.